So we were talking about Obama earlier. I really felt that this was kind of, it's actually ironic because the First Lady Michelle Obama and President Obama are supportive of your work. They shout you out in interviews. I think it was Mademoiselle for, Marie Claire. Yeah, Marie Claire. You see, we don't know. We know S's. You know what I'm saying? A brother don't know S's. You get past that, we start stuttering. So, okay. I think it was evident. It was sometime in the fall. I know because I was at the barbershop. But anyway, I digress. But what I wanted to say is that it's kind of fitting that she'll be here. The First Lady Michelle Obama will be at Spelman speaking later, and that they've been very supportive of your work. But also, we're living in a time where we were speaking before. I mean, Obama could make it rain every day, and there would still be issues. So what do you feel about the climate at which you're in? Because I find it interesting that I've always compared your storytelling style to Bill Withers. And I know that, you know, your baritone voice, you've been influenced by him, but you developed your own voice. But talk about what this means to be an artist in the Obama age. And, you know, and he had to release the birth certificate. I mean, he can't even have his privacy. Y'all just keeping it for 4 years about the man's birth certificate. So talk about the climate that we're living in and being an artist in a day and age where we do have a black president, but I mean, he's critiqued every day.
What I appreciate about him, beyond, you know, obviously he's like first black president, that's historical, you can't shake that, like that's awesome. But oddly enough, he's like the voice of reason right now. And that's what's funny is all the people that kind of come at him, you know, obviously he can complain about different things he doesn't do, this and that, whatever, but regardless, like when you think about what candidate is on the landscape, especially for Republicans, like they just don't have anybody that's got common sense.
That's what Donald Trump is for.
Exactly.
You know, that's the common
sense.
He on fire over him.
Exactly. That's just ridiculous. So to me, I appreciate even more that he's just more of he's not reactionary. So that makes him the best person for the job. And especially, I do think there's sensitive times where another person could be in that's really just, well, I mean, like George Bush was. He was very reactionary and very extreme in a lot of ways, you know what I mean? And I think in this era, we would need somebody that whenever, and you notice one thing I do respect him of everything that happens, he tends to sit on it for a little while before he, you know, speaks or whatever. And when he speaks, it's usually, even though sometimes it gets on my nerves, it's so in the middle, you know what I mean? But in the long run, I think at this point, you probably do need somebody that's going to sit a little bit longer and talk common sense. So, yeah, I think that's the thing I most appreciate about what he, not only him, but what he represents at this time. He's the enlightenment part to me. You know, there's other parts, there's other factions out there that's like, they're not even just politicians or whatever that, you know, we're already pushed so far extreme, controlled by corporations, that kind of thing. He's kind of like walking it back, you know, slowly, the other way. And it's probably got to be slowly because it moves slowly the way that it is. And we want to get real extreme and go, oh, we got to tear stuff down. Yeah. And I think like, you know, we can adapt and change things.
So how does it feel to have that endorsement? I mean, I would love, you know, a presidential teaching endorsement, a Shelltoes scholarship with the president's face. I mean, you are an artist that has the president's endorsement. What does that feel like as an artist? Because I know as an artist, you put the art out there. You hope it comes back and it's well received. You're going to get your criticism. You're going to get your critiques. You're going to have your fans and your stands. But the commander-in-chief is like, yo, I'm on Air Force One, but you know, hey, it's 3/4 of the truth for me.
Right.
How does it feel as an artist?
Well, again, because I whatever the persona is of him, the character that you see of him from day one, I always respected it. So that's the type of person that I would want to have listened. I mean, if it was George Bush, it'd be a little weird, you know. It'd be like, really, like, you know what I mean? I'd still probably think, wow, that's good. It's interesting because of the status. But with him, it's more than the status. It's like, wow, like this is you know, like, I think my base has always been living here in Atlanta. Like, you know, when I first started playing, it would be people that were going to these colleges, you know, a black intellectual group, you know what I mean? So that's interesting to, like, here he is, you know, and then on top of that, the position that he's in, you know, so it's like, it's kind of like, well, I hit the mark. Like, I want music for smart people, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, we talk about that a lot, because I was gonna say, like, our introduction to each other was Mentor Street. Yeah. And Jessica Care Moore, the wonderful poet, sister girl, shout out to her. But Jessica Care Moore had a spot with Brother Akil. More Epics was the name. That's actually where me and Brother Tony met. And so, how does it feel now to have? We always talk about, man, we want the intellects down, because, you know, until we as a people rise, you know, we have deep conversations hoping that it's embraced. How does it feel, you know, when I told you that I'm using this as a teaching tool, and that you're actually now in a place where you were as an artist, but in a different capacity, actually speaking to a class, and your work is being studied on an intellectual level? Like, when I first texted you, what was that feeling like? I was like, look, this is gonna be an assignment, bro.
Right. No, that's good. I mean, that's what I want. I mean, the artists that I like that. I mean, and don't get me wrong. It's not to say. It's not like, oh, what I make. I feel like, I think a lot of people make stuff for the lowest common denominator, and I'm thinking a long time. I don't know if you could call it the highest common denominator, but I just don't assume that everybody's stupid and you have to back dumb things down. Like, you know, most people feel like in the music industry, that's a real, like, people say that a lot. Like, well, you know, you got to, and I'm like, no, I think people are smart. You know what I mean? Like, and even if they catch different things different ways, they're just smart in a different way. Like, you know, everybody doesn't have to, you know, like even that song, you can analyze it a bunch of different ways. You know what I mean? And I've had people that take it as a gospel song. And I'm like, okay, you know what I mean? That's not exactly my message, but you can. You know what I mean? So I feel like there should be levels to what you do, and that's what I try to do. So then when I hear that one of the levels that, and then the people that I would probably more likely to be around, you know what I mean, would appreciate it. That's good. That's the goal. That's what I want.
All right, so we done the politics. We gonna kill politics. We gonna
press the button. I hope it's your record.